Hi there, Casey Dimon here with the TaxSaleAcademy.com, and in this video we're talking about preparing for a tax sale auction. Let's face it, a lot goes into tax sale investing. There's just so much you have to do in order to become a successful tax sale investor. Now, as you prepare for the auction, what exactly should you do at that time? Well, in this video I've got 5 steps for preparing for a tax sale auction. The first one is that you must research. Research is by far the biggest part to contributing to a successful tax sale investment. You have to know everything you possibly can about a specific piece of property before you even consider investing in that property. Additionally, this research should be started as soon as possible. It should be started as soon as that auction list comes out. You don't need to research properties the day before or 2 days before the auction. That is way too late to get started. You have to remember here, some properties will require additional digging, additional research. Some properties you might have to call the county. You might have to go and see the property yourself or send a scout to see it on your behalf, and all this stuff takes time. So research as soon as possible. The second step is you have to determine which properties you want to invest in and start a list. You're going to look at this tax sale list, you're going to go through this list and say, I don't want that property because I don't like the area it's in. I don't want this piece of property because it is too small. I don't want this piece of property because it's ugly. Whatever it may be, you're going to cross off a lot of properties. Now, the properties that you do want to invest in, the properties that you consider investable, you need to put those on a separate list. Use a spreadsheet, for instance. If you don't like spreadsheets, just determine some way where you know the difference between the properties you want to invest in and the properties you don't want to invest in, because you don't want to get at auction and confuse the two. Now, the third step for preparing for a tax sale auction is that you must familiarize yourself with the auction rules. I did a video about this a short time ago because the auction rules vary so greatly. Auction rules in one county might be handled one specific way, and the county over, they might be handled a completely different way. These rules do vary. State statutes dictate a lot of what happens at these tax sale auctions, but as far as what is not dictated in state statutes, it goes by the local traditions and local customs, and those traditions and customs can vary greatly. So make sure you understand these auction rules. The fourth thing is to get everything ready in advance. We're talking about not only having the auction list where it has all the properties, so you can go through and keep track of the auction and not lose your place, but also the list that has the properties that you're interested in investing in. That list should also have on it your maximum bid amounts. We're also talking about some simple stuff. Maybe carry some extra pens. Ink pens do run out of ink. And if you don't have any way to mark your spot, it's possible that you could lose track, and when your property comes up that you're interested in bidding on, you might not have any idea that they're even auctioning it off. Also consider packing a lunch if you expect it to be a long auction. Grab a water, a sweater. Don't forget your payment method, your driver's license or your identification card, whatever you have. All these things need to be ready well in advance. You don't need to be scrambling around the house trying to pull all this stuff together an hour before the auction, because you're going to lose focus, you're going to forget some stuff, and you're either going to get to the auction and not have the amount of focus that you need, or you're going to get there and not have your payment method, your ID, and you won't be able to bid or even register. So you need to have all this stuff in advance. If it helps you to have checklists, maybe a few weeks before the auction, determine everything you need, start a checklist. And the night before, go through this checklist, check all this stuff off, and then put that stuff in your vehicle to make sure you won't forget anything. But it's very, very important to have all this stuff. The fifth step here and the last step is to arrive early. I always tell everybody to arrive early at tax auctions because you don't know exactly what to expect. Every single auction is different. I've been to auctions before, some of the largest ones in the country, where you're standing in line for an hour or 2 hours waiting to register before you can even get inside the auction room. And obviously you want to be there very, very early in that situation. Another advantage of arriving early, besides the registration aspect of it, is that you can get a good seat. When you get a good seat, my input on this is to sit in the front row or sit on the aisle somewhere where you have a direct line of sight with the auctioneer. If you pick the biggest guy in the room to sit behind, your voice is going to be muffled. It's possible that the auctioneer might never even hear you, which could cost you a lot of money. So have a direct line of sight with the auctioneer. Make sure they can hear you. If you don't sit right in front of them, sit somewhere fairly close where you don't have to scream every single bid amount out, and you don't have to worry about the auctioneer not hearing you. So there you have it. There's 5 steps for preparing for a tax sale auction. There again, to research, determine which properties you're interested in, and start a list. Familiarize yourself with the rules, get everything ready in advance, and arrive early. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see similar videos, head on over to my website at TheTaxSaleAcademy.com, which you can do by clicking the blue link right here next to my head. Again, it'll take you to TheTaxSaleAcademy.com. Once you get there, consider downloading your free copy of my ebook, The Tax Sale Investing Blueprint. Have a wonderful day, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.